That's your data, your Social Security account, your tax return, your student loans, your VA health records.
But Elon has cracked the code. He is now inside the agencies.
Identity theft, cyber fraud, financial scams. Who has access to your personal information should be your decision, not up to Elon Musk.
He's created these algorithms that are constantly crawling through the data, and
How creepy is that?
constantly crawling through the data.
Trump threw a fork across the room after watching a video about him and Elon Musk. I'm not kidding. Actual witnesses at Mar-a-Lago saw the orange man baby meltdown, while Melania just kept scrolling through her phone like it was Tuesday. Want to know what video made Trump lose his mind? The Lincoln Project created a brilliant parody showing how Elon has basically turned into Trump's mini-me. And folks, it hit a nerve so bad that Trump called Musk 5 times after watching it. All went to voicemail. Awkward. Quick favor before we move on. If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 92% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So, did you subscribe already? Great, thank you so much for your support. Now back to the video.
That's an economic depression. You think you voted for Trump, but you didn't. You voted for Elon Musk. Oh, hi-yo, President Elon Musk. President Musk says he wants at least $2 trillion in cuts. That's your Social Security. That's your Medicare. That's America's roads and bridges.
Did you know the Lincoln Project isn't actually related to Abraham Lincoln at all? It's a group of Republicans who hate Trump so much they made a video that broke his brain. These aren't just any Republicans. They're the ones who decided Trump was just too bonkers, even for them. And let me tell you, when Republicans turn on other Republicans, they don't hold back. The video they created is a masterpiece of political trolling. It's a side-by-side comparison showing how Elon Musk has become Trump's weird mini-me. And I'm not talking about subtle similarities. We're talking full-on copying of hand gestures, speech patterns, and even those strange obsessions both men share. It's like watching a billionaire tech bro slowly morph into a spray-tanned political wannabe right before our eyes. What makes this video so different from your typical political attack ad is they didn't need to exaggerate or make anything up. They just showed real clips of both men back to back. No fancy editing tricks needed when reality is this ridiculous. It's like catching your friend copying your homework but changing a few words to make it look different, except the homework is an entire personality. The genius part? The Lincoln Project knew exactly which buttons to push. Trump's massive ego and his absolute terror of being mocked or looking weak are legendary. This is a man who sends journalists pictures of his hands to prove they aren't small, 15 years after someone first made that joke. So watching someone suggest he's being imitated, total kryptonite to his fragile ego. The video hits especially hard because it highlights Musk's transformation from Trump critic to fanboy. Remember when Elon called Trump a damp sock puppet in human form? Yeah, that was just a couple of years ago. Now he's turned into Trump's biggest cheerleader, desperately seeking approval like a new kid trying to join the cool table at lunch. The Lincoln Project basically exposed Elon as a pathetic follower, willing to abandon his previous positions just to get some MAGA love. For Trump, who needs to be seen as the alpha male at all times, this is the ultimate insult. Having someone suggest he's being imitated or mocked is worse than any policy criticism. Trump can handle people disagreeing with his politics. He actually seems to enjoy the conflict. But suggest he's not original? That someone else is copying him? That triggers something primal in his lizard brain. The Lincoln Project didn't just make a funny video, they created psychological warfare designed specifically to trigger Trump's well-documented insecurities. It's like they've been studying him for years, identifying his weak spots, and then crafted the perfect weapon. This isn't just trolling. It's tactical trolling with a strategic objective. This approach was so effective because it used Trump and Musk's own words and actions against them. No need for fake news when reality is embarrassing enough. It's the political equivalent of holding up a mirror to someone with spinach in their teeth and watching them freak out. The Lincoln Project basically said, "We didn't make this stuff up. You did this to yourselves." And boy, did it work. Did Trump really throw a fork across the room at Mar-a-Lago? According to multiple witnesses, yes. He had a complete meltdown while watching the video, hurling silverware while Melania just kept scrolling on her phone like this happens every Tuesday. Imagine being a guest at that dinner, trying to enjoy your overpriced steak, when suddenly a fork is flying through the air because Grumpy Trumpy saw a mean video. And poor Melania, so used to these tantrums, she doesn't even look up from her Instagram feed. The best part? Trump's reaction just proved the Lincoln Project's point. They portrayed him as an insecure man-child, and he responded by acting like an insecure man-child. It's like poetry, really. Beautiful, hilarious poetry written in the language of presidential tantrums. And that's just the beginning of this beautiful disaster. Wait till you hear what happened when Trump couldn't reach Elon on the phone. After the silverware throwing incident, Trump reportedly made multiple desperate attempts to contact his billionaire buddy. Picture it, the former president of the United States frantically calling Elon Musk because someone made a mean video comparing them. Not exactly the Cuban Missile Crisis, is it? 5 calls to Elon Musk, all sent straight to voicemail. When your billionaire buddy won't pick up during your temper tantrum, maybe it's time to consider that the relationship isn't as special as you thought it was. But that's exactly what happened after Trump's silverware flinging episode at Mar-a-Lago. Imagine being so desperate for validation that you blow up your supposed friend's phone 5 times in a row. That's not just clingy, that's restraining order territory. What's particularly fascinating about this meltdown isn't just that Trump threw a fork. It's Melania's complete non-reaction. According to witnesses, while silverware was flying across the dining room, the former First Lady didn't even bother to look up from her phone. Picture this scene for a moment. Dishes clattering, other diners awkwardly pretending not to notice, and Trump's wife scrolling through Instagram like it's just another Tuesday evening with the hubby. That level of practiced indifference suggests this kind of behavior is nothing new in Trump world. Her complete lack of surprise reveals volumes about their relationship dynamics. When your spouse's tantrums have become so routine that flying cutlery doesn't warrant even a raised eyebrow, you've reached a special level of marital detachment. It's like living with a toddler who occasionally throws spaghetti at the wall. Eventually, you just shrug and keep scrolling through TikTok while the nanny cleans up the mess. The real kicker is what happened after the fork incident. Trump, still seething from the Lincoln Project's video, frantically punched in Elon's number again and again. 1 call? Understandable. 2? Getting desperate. But 5. Consecutive calls? All ignored? That's entering stalker territory. Each unanswered ring must have stung more than the last, especially for a man who sees himself as the most important person in any room. Can you imagine those voicemails? "Elon, it's me again. They're making us look stupid. Call me back right now." Each message probably getting progressively angrier and more unhinged. By number 5, I'm guessing it was just heavy breathing and the sound of another fork hitting the wall. The ghosting by Musk clearly intensified Trump's frustration, leaving him without the ally he thought he could count on in his moment of crisis. This pattern of behavior, the immediate rage, the physical outburst, the desperate reaching out for validation, shows just how deeply the Lincoln Project's video cut. They didn't just make a funny comparison, they exposed a vulnerability in Trump's carefully constructed image of strength. By portraying Musk as Trump's imitator, they flipped the script on a man who demands to be seen as the original, the leader, the alpha. For a narcissist, there's nothing worse than feeling copied rather than being the copier. It's like showing Dracula his reflection in the mirror. Suddenly, all the illusions fall away. The video didn't just suggest Musk was imitating Trump, it implied Trump was so easy to imitate that anyone could do it. For someone whose entire brand is built on being unique and inimitable, that's psychological kryptonite. The fallout wasn't just confined to Mar-a-Lago's dining room, either. The public spectacle of Trump's tantrum sparked concern among his own party members. One Republican senator was quoted saying, "This isn't the behavior we need in a crisis." When your own team starts questioning whether you have the temperament for leadership, you know your fork-throwing skills have become a political liability. Think about what this says about Trump's stability under pressure. If a YouTube video can trigger silverware aviation and phone stalking, how would he handle actual international crises? The contrast between the pettiness of his reaction and the gravity of presidential responsibilities couldn't be starker. While past presidents weathered assassination attempts and global emergencies with composure, Trump apparently can't handle a comparison video without resorting to tableware as projectiles. The most revealing aspect of this whole saga is how it demonstrates Trump's emotional dependence on Musk. Those 5 desperate calls weren't just about damage control. They were a man reaching out for reassurance, for someone to tell him he was still the biggest, or the best, the most original. The Lincoln Project didn't just make Trump angry, they made him feel small and derivative, possibly the worst feeling imaginable for someone whose entire persona is built on grandiosity. While Trump was having his silverware-tossing tantrum, Elon Musk was preparing his own special brand of help. The kind that makes your enemies send you thank you cards. After ghosting those 5 desperate presidential phone calls, Musk finally decided to jump into the fray at 2 a.m. Because nothing says well-thought-out response like tweeting in the middle of the night when most functioning adults are asleep. Musk's first brilliant move? Confusing the Lincoln Project with the rock band Linkin Park. Yes, really. The richest man on the planet who constantly reminds us about his genius-level intellect couldn't even correctly identify who made the video that had Trump throwing cutlery. Musk tweeted, "I used to like their music, but now they're just political hacks." The internet, predictably, lost its collective mind laughing at this blunder. You'd think someone owning a social media platform would, spend 30 seconds Googling before attacking the wrong target. That's apparently asking too much. But wait, it gets better. Not content with this initial embarrassment, Musk decided to channel his inner teenage fan fiction writer by creating what can only be described as the world's saddest superhero image. He posted a poorly photoshopped picture featuring his face on Iron Man's body and Trump as Captain America. The source described it as something a 7th grader might create during computer lab after watching their first Marvel movie. The masterpiece received over 50,000 replies, mostly laughing emojis, the digital equivalent of having the entire internet point and laugh at you. When the mockery became too much, Musk shifted to Plan C. Just make the problem disappear. He ordered his engineers to suppress any mentions of the Lincoln Project on X, formerly Twitter. Because nothing says, "I'm totally not triggered," like trying to erase your critics from existence. But instead of silencing the Lincoln Project, this censorship attempt triggered what experts call the Streisand effect. When trying to hide something makes it exponentially more visible. Searches for the Lincoln Project skyrocketed as people wondered what was so awful that the platform's owner himself had to step in and censor it. The organization's content received more views than ever before. It's like Musk handed them a megaphone and said, "Please, tell more people about how Trump and I are embarrassing ourselves." The Lincoln Project gained 200,000 new followers in just 24 hours, all thanks to Musk's temper tantrum. That's some next-level marketing strategy they couldn't have paid for. Growing increasingly desperate, Musk tried a last-ditch effort to regain control of the narrative. He created a poll asking, "Who's more cringe, Lincoln Project or CNN?" Surely his loyal followers would back him up, right? The result was brutal. 76% of respondents voted for Elon Musk himself, an option that wasn't even on the ballot. Talk about getting ratioed on your own platform. The man literally lost a poll that he created and rigged. That's like losing a game of solitaire and blaming the cards. Every tweet, every failed meme, every censorship effort only amplified the very message that had triggered Trump in the first place. The Lincoln Project's strategy worked brilliantly. They knew exactly how to push Trump's buttons, and then sat back and watched as Musk inadvertently helped them reach a much larger audience. It's like watching someone try to put out a dumpster fire with gasoline while insisting they're a firefighting expert. All these self-owns turned what could have been a one-day story into a week-long spectacle of humiliation. Instead of letting the video fade from public consciousness, Musk's attempts at defense ensured that millions more people saw it and understood exactly why it hit so close to home for both him and Trump. The whole fiasco brought to mind that classic advice: when you're in a hole, stop digging. Apparently, Musk prefers to keep digging until he hits magma. So in the end, what's the real lesson here? The Lincoln Project masterfully executed political jujitsu, using Trump and Musk's own narcissism against them. The beauty of this whole fiasco wasn't just watching two powerful men melt down over a simple video. It was seeing how their attempts to defend themselves actually made everything worse. The Streisand effect in action. Musk's clumsy censorship attempts gave the Lincoln Project 200,000 new followers overnight. Talk about a self-own. Political satire works best when it just holds up a mirror to reality. No need for elaborate attacks when the truth itself is embarrassing enough. Sometimes the emperor really isn't wearing any clothes.